Well, good morning. This morning, as I was getting out of the shower, I just kind of began to think about grace. And I was thinking about how, grace is God's unmerited favor. And there's a preacher out there who has a definition and says it's his abounding provision of God's unmerited favor, of God's unrestrained, infinite love towards man. And, in Romans, Paul quotes David, "Blessed is the man to whom the Lord does not impute sin." In other words, blessed is the man who God doesn't hold sin against him. And then in 2 Corinthians 5, the Bible says that God doesn't impute our trespasses to us or even the world. And so the reality is that sin has been paid for. All sins or sinful activity has been paid for in Jesus. And a lot of ministers are afraid to mention that because they don't want people thinking they can just go around living in sin. And the truth is, we shouldn't. Paul said, should we continue in sin? God forbid. Even Paul said, where sin abound, does grace abound much more and more? And Paul was accused of saying, well, let's just sin so we can have more grace. And that's not what Paul was talking about. See, grace shows the absolute goodness of God towards man. That God is not going to hold our faults against us. And the Bible also says in Titus, and this was found in chapter 2, verse 11 and 12, it says, "For the grace of God that bringeth salvation hath appeared to all men, teaching us that denying ungodliness and worldly lusts, we should live soberly and righteously and godly in this present world." This grace, this love, this unearned, we don't have to do anything for it, that we trust in by faith, is going to teach us how to live right. And we depend on Jesus to do that in our lives. I love what Billy Graham said. The closer we get to God, the more sinful we realize we are. The more I learn and understand who God is and who I am, I realize my need for God in my life. And I have to depend on Him because I know who I am without Him. And so understand, grace is not there so we can do as we will, but grace is there to produce in us what we can't do for ourselves. I can't be righteous. I can't be holy. I can't do all that. But Jesus did, and He is working that in our lives. It's given to us as a gift. And Jesus is causing that gift that's given to us to produce fruit on the outside. Anyway, and that fruit is righteousness. That fruit is holiness. You've already got all of those things. They're already a part of who you are if you're saved. And anyway, I hope this encourages you today. God's not holding your mistakes against you. He's just telling you, come on, get back up, run, finish. We may not win the race, but all we got to do is finish our course. That's what Paul said. I have finished my course. And if we finish, we win. It don't matter. We win. Anyway, I love you guys. A little bit longer today, but have a good one. I appreciate you so much.